Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Mighty Joe, man, how you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. We had a nice little rain shower here in Lubbock this morning, and that's always welcome. Everything feels nice and refreshed and cool, and it's not 100 degrees right now, so I'm good.
Yeah, we needed that rain, so it was really nice. Look, fall camp has opened up. Media has been given a glimpse into two practices so far, about an hour's worth actually there. And it's not so media Nazi, for lack of a better term, as far as like, get out, okay, your time's up. It's not. It's a lot more relayed atmosphere out there, and they'll actually talk with you. The coaches and other people in the staff will actually talk with you and talk Red Raider football in Lubbock with you. It's actually a completely different atmosphere, which got me thinking. I posted in the notebooks about this, just how different the atmosphere is. It's just so tangible, and I'm not the only one saying that. It's the only thing I could say that all the media has agreed on, other than when we talked about, Beard and how great the basketball program is, in terms of Texas Tech athletics was, wow, what a difference. We actually feel welcome. And not only that, but the players even, they're going hard. It was 100 degrees Monday. It was hot. It was hot out there at the Jones. And actually, Devin Ward of KCBD said, did you notice how everybody was cheesing? It's like even when they were running the gauntlet, everybody was grinning from ear to ear. Like you could tell, we'll see what happens, of course, once the bullets start flying in the season. But as of right now, there's such a different feel, Monty Joe. And I know you're working your day job here at Texas Tech. So you hadn't had a chance to get out there. But, man, you have years and years of experience, several regimes here, going back to the Leach days of covering, being out there at fall camps and practice. So I just kind of want to get an idea from you what it's been like through those regimes for you, and just what that means as far as having the feel and the mentality there out at these practices.
Yeah, it's it has changed an awful lot down through the years.
Sure.
I mean, that's the one thing. With Leach, it was like the Wild West.
Yeah.
I mean, it was no holds barred. Anybody, just about, could walk into any practice and just hang out, and you could go wherever on the practice field for the entire practice.
Wow.
And there was no restriction basically. And of course, wild and crazy Leach himself, the mad pirate,
Right.
Always great in the press conferences and whatnot. But I just set up an interview with Crabtree once and met him outside of his dorm.
Ha.
And this was the Tech SID.
You'd be crucified now for that.
Oh yeah. So that's just an indication. But we're talking about that was 10 plus years ago.
Yeah, I think that's some of it too, right? It's just going to be the difference in college football nowadays, not specifically with Texas Tech. Right?
Yeah, and that's probably so. And why that is the case, we could go into, but that's like another whole video we could shoot on something like that. But then you move to Tuberville, and of course nobody wants to hear a good word about Tuberville, right. So I won't say too many. But it was tightened up a little bit, okay. But you still had a good deal of access. And the thing about Tuberville was, for as much as people dislike him, he was a guy who was very affable, sort of a guy. He would come up to you. He's really the only coach that I encountered who would actually come up to you and just start shooting the breeze. Hey, I'm Tommy Tuberville, blah blah blah, and and just chew the fat with him for 3 or 4 minutes. And so, I liked him as a person. I know there were problems, but overall, those camps that he ran, I thought were pretty good in terms of access, and the coach was a welcoming host. So there was that. Then you move on to Kingsbury, okay? And we all know that things switched around quite a bit. Right. That's when the Iron Curtain descended, sort of, and access was closed off. But I think, and a lot of that is reflective of Kingsbury's personality. You know, he's just a very reserved sort of a guy who keeps everything close to the vest. Doesn't want to give too much away, and in consequence, I think with a lot of people that created a certain air of maybe distrust.
Sure.
Like why he's hiding something. You know, why isn't he shooting straight with me here? And he would kind of hem and haw when you ask questions instead of just coming forth and saying, hey, this is what it is, you know. And so, I mean, with Kingsbury, I think even more than the restrictions and the way he necessarily ran the camp was Kingsbury himself. You know, I mean, the program took on his personality, and that's what it was.
You know, what's interesting is that people used to say like, oh, do you hate that the access has been closed off? And honestly, for just us specifically in our position, having the insider and being, you know, inside the Red Raiders, it would give us more opportunities to use our sources. So it really wasn't a negative for us. You know what I mean? Having it open to everybody and everybody getting the information actually makes it harder for us to dig up those nuggets, you know, of information, the inside info that most tech fans wouldn't know about. Now, I will tell you, it's funny what you said about Tuberville, and let's not make any correlation that this is how Coach Wells' career is going to go here, but I've noticed Wells, like I think every practice I've been to, going back to the last spring practice I went to, Coach Wells has at least come up and shook my hand. And I've noticed he does that with a lot of the members of the local media, a lot of the people that have been here for a while. And that's unnecessary. It's not required, but I think it's smart. I noticed he does that with everybody. They had some Lady Raider basketball recruits out there at practice Monday, and he went up to them and was like, he had them all laughing and, you know, rolling and everything, and was entertaining them, and had a bunch of, he's had high school coaches out here. Even the first day of fall camp, he had a lot of the local high school coaches out there, and I talked to a couple of them, and they were just ecstatic about how open the program is now and getting to be a part of it. And Coach Wells was honest when he asked about it. He said, yeah, it's a give and take. They learn stuff from us, I hope, and we learn stuff from them, but we also want the recruits. But why wouldn't I open the program to them? So, I mean, it may seem like common sense, but still glad to see all these things happening. And I just think it's interesting to hear all the differences in the regimes, especially all your experience. But we're going to have more in the coming weeks from fall camp about specific like position groups and who's looking good and injury reports and stuff like that. There's certainly a lot of that information on the board and stories and notebooks that we posted. But for now, Joe, I think that's it. Great stuff from you as always. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time.